Hello everyone, welcome to my Dark Souls NPC challenge run. In this series, we're going to ask the question, can you beat the game as various NPCs? However, after beating the game as a chosen NPC, the game will get harder as it goes to a subsequent New Game Plus run. So, let's strap on in and ask the question, can you beat Dark Souls as Paladin Leroy, the Way of White? Before we begin, I want to get into the story of Leroy. I spent a long time listening to lore videos, taking notes, listening back to the same videos to break apart certain parts of his story. Much of his story is speculation, which is why there's different takes. I'll give you my version of his story. Paladin Leroy was the greatest hero of the Way of White. What is the Way of White? A corrupt religious organization that minimizes true faith and rewards monetary donations. Leroy either died and was resurrected as an undead, or he was volunteered for a secret mission and became undead and sent to Lordran to find the Rite of Kindling. What's the Rite of Kindling? A creation of Grave Lord Nito that allows undead to kindle bonfires. And why would the Way of White want this? Unknown, but it's power, and we know they desire power. So Leroy headed down to the catacombs looking for this Rite of Kindling, and somehow he became disillusioned. He found Gravelord Nito and became his acolyte, and is found protecting him when the chosen undead comes knocking. So, understanding his story, let's get into the rules of this run. There's a few special rules. We have access to the Paladin set, the Shield Sanctus, the Thorlin Talisman, Heals, Wrath of the Gods, and Grant. I will also have to complete special story objectives. I need to join the Way of White right off the bat, and then I need to head down into the catacombs first. There, I will join Gravelord Nito, retrieve Nito, the Rite of Kindling, and then murder all of the Way of White members, including Anastasia, which means I will not have access to Firelink Shrine for a good majority of this run. That being said, let's head into the run. Starting with the Asylum Demon, I used this fight to test damage and get used to the moveset. I found out two immediate problems. I don't have a Thorlin Talisman, and Grant's two-handed heavy attack is a weapon art that quickly breaks the weapon. So, we kill the Asylum Demon quick and head to Firelink. First thing I do here is join the Way of White, and I purchased a Thorlin Talisman, and then head straight to Andre to buy a repair box. I'm gonna need this on the run over and over. After this, I do some weapons testing on the hollows, and I see how expensive it is to repair my weapons. That out of the way, we head to the catacombs. I take my time, going slow, using my heals, and go the proper way through the catacombs because I don't want to get soft locked down there. We tell Patches we're a cleric on a mission and he tries to murder us. We let him live because I can't risk messing up Rhea's quest. All in due time. I make my way to Gravelord Nito, and we have a heart-to-heart conversation. What things did he whisper to Leroy in the dark? I like to think of Dagoth from Morrowind, a misunderstood villain that I always wished I could join. Leroy is convinced, and he becomes a Gravelord. I head out with a new purpose, and I find Vamos. We use his bonfire, but his services are no longer useful to us. I make my way to Pinwheel, and I deal massive damage to him with Grant. I retrieve the Rite of Kindling with no effort at all. I make my way back up out of Pinwheel's area and find my way back to Nito and give him the Rite of Kindling. I finally head back up to Firelink. And now I need to trigger Rhea to show up and head down to the catacombs. So to make that happen, I need to go kill Capra. I head through the Burg, I kill the Tauros demon, I return to the Undead Parish, grabbing the basement key along the way. I kill the Baronite Knight for getting in my way. And I save my secret assassin Lautrec. He'll murder Anastasia for me. I drop the gargoyles, then head down to the lower Undead Burg. I drop Capra easy and make my way back to the Firelink Shrine. Now it's time to head down to the catacombs. I let Patches kick me on down into the dark, and there, in the dark, I find Rhea. She's surrounded by danger. She says, "Oh, Master Leroy, there's too many of them. What do we do?"
Of the gods.
No, this can't be.
Still feeling murderous, I choose to murder a puppy. Then I head down to Quelaag. Still testing things out, I find her explosion one-shots me. But with that knowledge, I know what I need to finish her off, no problem. Ingi then gets in my way and regrets it, but we let the fair lady live because she's useful to me. Heading back to Firelink, I check on Anastasia. Well done, Lautrec. Then we run through Sen's Fortress. I've seemingly mastered this place, but I'll probably eat those words on the Havel run. But for now, we make it up no problem. This time, I let the giant live and head over to the golem. He refuses to be staggered by Grant, which is surprising to me. I thought we'd send him tumbling no problem, but it's not until he's almost dead that he falls down. I guess welcome to New Game 6, ladies and gentlemen. After this, I eat many games worth of boss souls that I've just been sitting on, and we kill a gargoyle, we watch our footing on the rafters, and we dance past the archers. We head to Ornstein and Smo, and we need to get used to moving around these guys, and I die a few times trying to figure out some strategies. Eventually, I discover the safest way to deal with them is in the eye of the storm. Running at Smo causes him to miss and get in the way of Ornstein. With this strategy, we're able to kill Ornstein as he backs away and tries to get away from Smo, who just keeps getting in his way. Then, it's just a matter of patience and getting Smo caught in a butt slam rotation to finish him off. After this, we kill Guinevere, as all gods must die, and then we wrap this up by heading down to the Dark Moon Tomb and killing Gwendolyn. It's an arduous run to catch him, but we learn the patterns and smack him down. Killing these two weren't really part of the rules, but it just felt right. It felt like it should be part of the run, so I added it in last minute. We return to remember that the Firelink is off limits for the rest of the run, but no problem. We dropped the Lord Vessel, and this becomes the new Firelink Shrine for us. The most annoying part about this is going to be the Four Kings. So, to get this out of the way, I grab the key, I drain the lake, and I head down to the Four Kings. This time around, I definitely passed the DPS check. I'm able to kill each king right as the next one pops up, and we win the fight with only one annoying runback. After this, we kill Ceaseless and head to the Bed of Chaos. I skipped the Fire Sage and Centipede because they weren't part of the run, and I'm going to do an all-boss run as Havel, so I'm conserving my energy. We firebombed the Bed of Chaos, and I did master baiting out that slam as Tarkus, so this was no problem at all. Then we head to Duke's, and we die to Sith, we make our way to the Crystal, and again, we've learned some great skills on all these runs, so we know to heal with humanity, to wear the Curse Bite ring, we do amazing damage, and we put Sith down no problem. Now, we go back to where it all started. Nito. I had imagined at this point Leroy was disillusioned with all religions and wanted to cast the world into darkness. The Way of White would finally lose their precious light. Fighting Nito is easy. His attacks never land, and Grant is divine, so the skeletons stay dead. Honestly, this fight is probably one of the easiest fights of the run. Then, it's time for Gwyn. On the last two runs of Siegmeyer and Tarkus, we couldn't parry Gwyn, so we make up for lost time with the Hornet Ring, and Gwyn dies. This will be the last time I can do this to Gwyn, so we take advantage of it. After that, we cast the world in darkness, and, well, that's the run. This run was a blast. By now, the late game bosses have become second thoughts. I find them to be easy or at most tedious. It was fun to add in a story element, and the character of Leroy was a lot more in-depth than I ever anticipated. Leroy felt like a chance to embrace my shadow, as famous philosopher Carl Jung would put it. The world hurt Leroy, so he hurt it back. But while it was fun playing the villain for once, I missed the heart of jolly cooperation from previous runs. This playthrough, there was no laughing, there was no lighthearted jokes. I played with a stern face and a murderous intent. It definitely put a dark in Dark Souls, whereas typically I find the game to be a place I can think and breathe and relax. This time I felt a sense of dark purpose. I loved playing as Leroy, but I'm eager to get back to laughing with Solaire. But there's no time for that, because if you thought this run was dark, I imagine Havel will be the blackest night. If you enjoyed this run, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on our final run as Havel the Rock, where we will kill all bosses and all NPCs before we finally cast this world in the darkest dark and put the entire run to bed. I'll see you guys at the series finale. Bye.